Okay Joe, the first place we're going to is Access World. These guys know everything there is to know about Access.
This place is great. I practically live there. They've got all sorts of cool stuff we can play with.
Great guys, I need all the help I can get. And frankly, if it wasn't for Sally, my office manager, I don't know how we'd survive.
This place causes me constant headaches. Our IT systems are a complete nightmare. Our help desk is completely overwhelmed. It takes months to deploy applications. And the complexity of it all is just unmanageable. And as we're going to provide our remote users access to their applications, I mean, don't even go there. We're trying to grow our business and our IT costs are spiralling out of control. I don't know how much longer I can take this.
Okay, boys, let's go! Hey! Oh! Here we are at Access World.
Hey! Thanks,
Alright! A lot of steps. More people than I was expecting at Access World.
Alright.
Big screens at Access World too.
Right, thanks guys. Well, Joe, do I have a surprise for you, buddy? Look, in the 5 minutes it took us to come from your place to Access World, we've set up a whole new system for you.
Wow.
We've got presentation server, we've got access gateway, we've got password manager. We're going to show you today how to get access from your corporate laptop, from your home PC, from a clientless machine like a Macintosh. Even here we are in Access World, we're going to show you how you can get the full access experience.
I tell you what, we've installed some really, really cool stuff here. We're going to start out with the Citrix Access Gateway. We've installed this thing, and what we're going to do, we're going to put this machine on your corporate network. So I'm going to go ahead and log in now. And
What Adam's going to do is log in, and by logging in and providing his credentials, he's going to establish an SSL tunnel between this machine and your corporate network. Any application can just operate just like it was on the corporate network.
So we've got like Microsoft Outlook here installed on this local machine. I can fire it up now and it can connect to your email server back in your office. So it could be Exchange, could be anything else. You can see we're connected there. We've got access to your inbox. You can send and receive email. We can synchronize your Outlook, all that kind of thing, just like you were there. The other thing we've installed is Citrix Presentation Server.
And the way this works, Joe, is that we went to your office, we looked at all your applications that you're running in the office, and we put them together on one Citrix Presentation Server farm. And using role-based publishing, we can publish these applications to the user that needs it.
Yeah, we're using a technology here called P&Agent, or Program Neighborhood Agent. And what it allows us to do is take those applications that we put on the presentation server and represent them as if they were like installed on this machine. So you can see them there, you've gone to the start menu, you can see the icons there, just like they were installed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to launch your usual customer relationship management software.
Now remember, Joe, this is actually executing back in your office on your presentation server. And what we're doing is we're getting the keyboard, mouse, screen, etc. over here in your partner office at Access World.
The great thing is also that the data is remaining in the data center. So, you know, if you're traveling around, you don't really want the data to be sitting on your local hard drive because what if it gets lost, what if it gets damaged, all that kind of thing. It stays where it should be, in the data center, backed up, nice and safe.
In one central place.
Yeah, and you can see, here's the application, as usable as if you were there.
Now the other thing, Joe, is that imagine if this was a laptop, and as Phil was saying before, you could be moving between different wireless hotspots. You may lose connection and re-establish connection, etc. I'll simulate this by actually unplugging this lamp.
You're gonna lose the data if you do that.
Well, as you'll notice, the operating system detected the fact that I've lost the connection. And what's happening is the access gateway is saying, hang on, you've lost the connection, I'm going to attempt to restore the connection. This simulates, for example, moving this laptop into another wireless hotspot. So here I am. Notice also that the presentation server application is still running. We maintain the state of the application on this machine, so it's still up on your computer. So now if I reconnect, the operating system detects that a reconnection has happened, and the access gateway will just restore the connection. I didn't have to re-authenticate or put my credentials in again.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the days are now gone where you get error messages, you'd be re-authenticating. You know, we've been able to jump from one hotspot to the next. Things have reconnected as smooth as.
And you don't lose any of that data.
Don't lose the data. The session's up here and running. We can do whatever we need to do to it.
Now the other thing, Joe, is I went to your office, mate, and I was really embarrassed. I had a look and there were some people there with 2 PCs on their desktop. Why would you need that?
Well, we need to run Access 97 and Access 2003. And you just can't do it on the same machine.
Well, maybe you couldn't before, but you heard from Brian about application isolation environment. And what this allows you to do is to actually run multiple applications that used to conflict on the same server.
So things like, Access 97 and Access 2003, it's no longer an issue. You can run those two applications used to conflict. Now they'll run quite happily on the same presentation server. So here's an example. I'm running, as we're mentioning, Access 97, Access 2003. What I'll do is I'll bring up the help about just to prove to you guys exactly what I'm doing. Up the top you can see Access 2003 and Access 97 down the bottom.
But hang on, Adam. How can we know that they're actually on the same server?
Well, that's a great question because it's as if the script told you to ask that.
Script,
yeah, exactly. What we can do, we'll bring up ICA Connection Center down here. And I'll prove to you, there we are, we've got one presentation server, it's my favourite name, TMPS01.
Very friendly name.
Yeah. And the two versions of Access are running there, 97 and 2003. You can see the two icons for yourself.
That is really good.
Yeah.
Now, can you see any reason why you would need to have two desktops?
Well, another reason we had two desktops is we got this CPU-intensive graphics application. And as soon as you run it, it hogs the CPU. There's nothing you can do about it.
So you're thinking now, if I put all these applications on a presentation server and I've got a CPU hog, maybe it's actually going to affect all the users?
Surely you have the same problem.
Well, you could have in the past, but now we have a new feature called CPU Utilization Management.
What?
CPU Utilization Management. Look, it's really simple. CPU Utilization Management allows you to take an application that's usually really resource hungry or needs a lot of processor to run and run it quite happily with a program that doesn't need quite as much resource, but also needs CPU to run quite efficiently and to give a good response to the user. So we know you use a program called POV to do some rendering and things like that for your productions, right? Well, we've got that here, we've published it on presentation server, and we've also got Microsoft Word running. You can see here, the session's quite happy over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a render of a diagram, and usually that's chugging away using lots of CPU, and I'm also then going to flip back to the Microsoft Word and be able to type into that using this technology. So we'll run this render right now. You see it's starting to render, and I can type away. Same server, two applications, one needs a lot of resource, the other not so much.
Yeah, that's great. I've also noticed that these applications need passwords, but you're not entering any passwords.
Yeah.
I wonder how we do that, Adam.
I wonder.